Okay, let's talk about detox. When you hear that word, what comes to mind? Probably expensive juice cleanses, fancy teas, you know the drill. But what if I told you that a real detox has nothing to do with a trendy fad and everything to do with a critical, high-stakes process your body is running for you right now, this very second? Today, we're going to flip that whole idea on its head. I'm going to guess this sounds familiar. You decide it's time to get healthy, you start some new detoxes, and within a day or two, you feel awful. You've got a pounding headache, you're wiped out, maybe your skin is freaking out. It is so frustrating, right? Well, it turns out there is a very real biological reason for that. And believe me, it is not your fault. So here is the most important shift in thinking we need to make. Detoxification is not a week-long event you pencil into your calendar. It's your body's essential, nonstop, 24/7 waste management system. It's run mostly by your liver, and it's constantly working to protect you from, well, everything. So why do so many of these popular detoxes get it so wrong and make us feel so sick? Honestly, it's because they completely misunderstand how the body's internal plumbing actually works. So let's pull back the curtain. I want you to think of your liver's detox process not as a simple flush, but more like a really sophisticated three-stage assembly line. Here's how that assembly line works. First up, you've got phase one. This is the demolition crew. It takes big, complex toxins and breaks them down into smaller pieces. Then, in phase two, it's like a packaging plant. It takes those pieces, neutralizes them, and wraps them up to make them safe. And finally, phase three. That's the shipping department. It gets those packaged toxins out of your body for good. See? Every step has to flow perfectly into the next. And right here, this is where the whole thing goes off the rails. This is the trap. Most of the detox stuff you see out there is just packed with ingredients that aggressively ramp up phase one, that demolition stage. They basically just slam their foot on the gas pedal for the first part of the assembly line, without giving any thought to the other two stages. And here's why that's such a disaster. When you crank up phase one like that, you create a flood of these things called intermediate metabolites. And get this, the science is super clear that these byproducts are often way more toxic and inflammatory than the original thing you were trying to get rid of. That's what's causing the headaches, the fatigue, the brain fog, all of it. And to make it even worse, if that final elimination step, phase three, isn't working, you get this: enterohepatic recirculation. Now, I know that's a mouthful of a term, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Just imagine that assembly line is churning out all this packaged waste, but the exit door is locked shut. What happens? The packages just pile up and up until they spill over, get reabsorbed from your gut, and get sent right back to the start of the line. You're literally just recycling your own garbage. So, what's the fix? How do we get out of this mess? Well, we stop fighting against our body's own logic, and we start working with it. This is the whole idea behind the reverse method. Instead of starting at the beginning of the line, we're going to start at the end and work our way backwards. So this is what everybody's doing wrong. They focus on step one, breaking down toxins first. And that just overwhelms step two, and with step three totally blocked, you get that massive toxic traffic jam we were just talking about. It's a recipe for feeling absolutely terrible, and it is exactly what we want to avoid. Okay, so here's the solution, and it's so beautifully simple. We just reverse the order. We start with phase three. We make absolutely sure all the exit doors are wide open and the pathways are clear. Then we support phase two, making sure we have all the supplies needed to safely wrap up the toxins. And only then, once that whole path is clear, do we gently encourage phase one to get started. No backlog, no traffic jam, just a smooth, easy flow. All right, enough theory. How do we actually do this? What does this look like in the real world? Let's break down the actual tools you need to support this 3-2-1 reverse method and do a true, effective detox. First things first, we open the exits. The only goal here is to make sure everything can get out of the body easily. Things like Psyllium Husk are great. It acts kind of like a sponge in your intestines, binding to all the bad stuff. Magnesium is fantastic for just keeping things moving regularly. And Taurine is a rock star. It actually helps make your bile less thick, so it flows out of the liver and gallbladder easily. And of course, none of this works without the basics. Tons of clean water and electrolytes to keep the kidneys flushing everything out. Okay, exits are open. Now we move to step two, supplying the packaging materials. Think of this like stocking the warehouse for the assembly line. Choline is critical for moving fats out of the liver. NAC is a total powerhouse. It's the direct building block for glutathione, which is your body's master antioxidant. And then amino acids like glycine and glutamine, they are the literal bubble wrap that your body uses to package up toxins, making them safe to transport out. And only now, with everything else in place, as our final step, do we gently fuel the engine of phase 1. A good B vitamin complex provides the actual energy for the detox machinery to run. Milk thistle is like a bodyguard for your liver cells, protecting them from damage. And antioxidants like vitamin C and E, they act like a fire extinguisher, putting out any little sparks of inflammation that phase 1 naturally creates. So, you see what we're doing here? A real detox isn't about some aggressive short-term attack on your body. It's about methodically, respectfully supporting your body's built-in biological order. It's about giving it the right tools in the right order at the right time. And this right here, this is basically your cheat sheet. It pulls it all together. Step 1, which is really phase 3, is to open the exits with fiber and magnesium. Step 2, phase 2, is to neutralize and package with amino acids and NAC. And step 3, phase 1, the final step, is to fuel that initial breakdown with B vitamins and antioxidants. It's just a simple, logical flow that works with your body, not against. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. The next time you think about doing a detox, just ask yourself this. Is this program just digging up a bunch of toxins and letting them run wild through my system? Or is it intelligently clearing the path, first, for their safe and final removal? Because honestly, that difference is everything.